What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bottom of the Glass.
That's a good intro. I cut you off because I wasn't expecting it. So I'm sorry.
We're here to fuck shit up.
This
Take
is
some names.
This is supposed to be part 2 of our one-part hunting episode that
Correct.
went way too long. And we have Dustin with us again.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
So, also your mic is, yeah. If you're not talking, that's fine. But if you have stuff to say and you want to interject at all, make sure you stay up. Hold the damn thing if you want to.
No, that seems very like...
Probably going to get heavy. That stand's heavy as shit.
Like a cock.
So, if people remembered from the last one, Dustin kind of had put me in my place. I was kind of being devil's advocate about people complaining about the DNR being involved so much in hunting and why they charge so much for stuff. And then I think I tried to make the point, why don't they just adjust the prices of the tags given how many animals there are out there or whatever? And then he asked me, well, how many tags did you get? And I got an ass load of tags. So
way more than you thought.
Way more than I'm probably ever going to shoot.
Right, so we did talk about all of that, right? And that was before open season, correct?
Correct. We're halfway through Wisconsin gun deer now.
Halfway?
Just over halfway.
Some bitch closes in 2 days for a regular gun. And then you've got the holiday hunt, muzzleloader.
How do you get holiday hunt?
It's a special hunt. It's a weekend doe only.
Yeah, it's a 2-day doe only hunt.
Oh.
In case, you're like us and you only shoot Bambis.
Well,
There's never enough deer in the freezer. Yeah, why don't you start with that? A little shout out to Remy.
Ooh.
The 2-for-1.
Oh, the 2-for-1. So we listened. What is it? Going the distance?
Cutting the distance with Remy Warren.
With Remy Warren. He was talking about ways of 2 hunters shooting 2 animals within the same hunt, or kind of like at the same time. One of them was you can do the 3-2-1 method and hope everything lines up and you both shoot at the same time.
Which they say is the least effective. And then you can do you start from 10 counting out loud and you get down to 5 or 3. I think it's 5. You start at 10 and you count down 10,
out loud
9, 8,
together
7, 6,
in tandem
5.
So you get a rhythm going. And then when you hit 5,
you count the last 4 in your head.
And
then shoot.
But the most effective method they've found, or that he's experienced, was so if there's 2 animals that each one of you is going to shoot, one of you takes a shot. So that way you're guaranteed somebody's getting something.
Right.
You don't both fuck up. Then you wait. So a lot of times if there's like a group of animals and you shoot one and it goes down, it drops like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
The others they'll stand there and stare at it wondering what the fuck happened.
The fuck, Bill?
What are you doing, man? It's not nap time.
Get up, bro.
Did you hear that loud bang? Something's going on.
And while that's happening, the other guy then takes his shot. Or her. They're female hunters. So that's what we ended up doing. 2 deer walked in. And instead of us shooting at the same time, because there was never a good shot that,
2 deer walked into it.
I let him shoot first. Bang, killed. Well, it didn't drop, but it took off. He hit it good. It was fine.
Perfect.
It was a perfect shot.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they took off in 2 different directions. So then when this one didn't come back, the one that got shot didn't come back. This one turned around. I was trying to find its friend. And then bang. And then I scoped myself.
I would say, yeah. Somebody experienced a rookie mistake.
Yeah. Whoops.
If you don't know what that is,
I've never done it before.
It's when you're looking in the scope and recoil comes back and hits you in the fucking face.
And it splits you open.
Mine post that picture.
Mine looked worse than it was.
You should.
I could.
Good. You should do that.
What was cool about that was, like, we cloned shots. Both of them were broadside, head to the right, and both of them split the heart open.
Damn.
And that was it.
Yep. I was really excited to save the heart this time, too.
What were you going to do with it? Eat it?
Yeah.
Eat it.
Save it, slice it, eat it.
Get in the soup?
Scrumptious delicious. So, we didn't get to a lot of the questions, and at this point, I don't remember which ones we did or didn't get to. We asked what your favorite animal was to hunt. Trophy hunting versus hunting for the meat. We kind of got into that. and I don't remember. We got into Fair Chase, so I'm gonna mark that.
I'll say all of it was kind of tentative, but.
Did you have any questions you wanted to ask Rob that you were curious about at all?
Yeah, I have a question for Rob. Have you got your ass out at all, or you just kind of been sitting on the bench warming it?
Nope, just been working. Nobody wants to take me, so I can't go.
You didn't buy a license.
Yeah, that kind of is a hindrance there.
I'm not going to buy one if I'm not going to go.
If you buy a license, I'll take you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy fucking Thanksgiving.
He's
happy slaughtering an entire indigenous people's day.
It's the best day. It's not true. I asked him. I said, hey, we're going to go out hunting? He was like, oh, yeah.
I said, yeah. What did you do?
I said, when? And he said,
you didn't contact me for like 2 weeks.
It's not true.
How's scouting public land going for you?
Rough. I thought I had found a good spot here in the town I live. I drove by it 2 days in a row. Nobody there. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, cool, because it's an unmanaged chunk of public land. Mm-hmm. There's no postings for it saying it's public or anything. It's unmarked.
Really?
But it's like 40 acres of public huntable land, and it's unmanaged, so it's kind of overgrown. There's no paths into it or anything. There's no driveway. So I drove by it 2 days in a row. Looked great. No one there. I'm like, oh, fuck. Maybe I found like a little
honey hole.
Little hole that no one really knows about because it's not marked. And I got up at 5:30 Thanksgiving Day. Went to go out there, and there was like 4 cars there.
Damn. So no one's hunting the evenings there. That's more of a morning.
Well, I drove by it today on my way home from work, and one of the guys that was there on Thanksgiving Day was parked there again. But there was only 1 car there this time. So
if it's 40 acres, you should.
It should have been fine, but I had no idea. I had never been on this land.
You hadn't scouted it that well,
right? I had only drove by it. I've never gone into it. So, and I didn't want to be the guy that fumbles around in there and fucks up everybody else's hunt.
Let's do that for next year, and I'll come and we'll all go.
Oh yeah,
we'll
down. Scout some public land.
I'm gonna be scouting.
That's
come spring.
One of the things I learned. If you're a new hunter and hunting public, that's
it's daunting.
It's intimidating at first.
We tried that. Out. We tried that when I went.
Well, when we went, there was no one there.
There was nobody.
There was fucking nobody.
Same spot.
No.
Oh.
This was in Lodi, DeForest area, somewhere that way.
This won't give what county is this? That won't give away your location, will it?
Jefferson.
Oh yeah, derp. I should know that. Yeah, we should get cross tags so that we can crash to each other's places and go out.
Yeah, totally. I'm totally down. I need to find places to hunt around me because driving where I drive to is fine.
Yeah, it's just...
And you always, like I said, only ever got skunked there once. But you never find any monsters. There's never anything big.
Dude, it's food.
But it's food.
What anyone says, that's my number one.
We didn't hunt my dad's backyard.
No.
We hunted at my uncle's.
Yeah.
And we got skunked. We didn't even get skunked.
No, we didn't.
I mean, we got skunked one day.
It was a traveling, wandering, oh shit moment.
So, yeah. Where was I going? I was going to ask you a question, then I kind of forgot which one it was.
Hunting, public land.
You asked if I had any questions.
Oh, yeah, it's because I was marking something. That's why. And you didn't.
I did. I put 3 of them on there. I put all these ones.
At the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Scent control, cleaning your deer, best time to hunt, stand versus blind. I like the box blind. Mm-hmm. Heated.
I prefer elevation. I don't care what it is, but I do prefer that elevation.
Yeah. So the one that we sat in was nice. The one that me and him sat in just recently, even nicer.
Oh, really?
Yo, you should tell your listeners about the new thing we did this year, too. The overnight experience.
Oh, we stayed in the stand overnight.
Oh, really?
Slept. Well, I slept. Cody woke me up because I snored.
Because he snored so loud. I heard a tree fall from start to finish, which was cool. And then I heard an owl screaming.
Really?
Bloody fuck. It sounded like a banshee.
That's cool. I wonder how many people actually do that.
I don't know.
Sleep when they're blind?
Yeah.
I know one dude I work with does, but yeah, you have to have... I mean, you got to have the accommodations for it, or it's not happening.
Yeah.
Like what? Like
heat?
Piss or shitter?
Well, if it's not too hot or not too cold out, like even if we never would have turned on the heater, we'd have been fine.
I got a little chill, but...
You were also on the ground.
Hey.
The floor.
Hot air rises.
It's my new favorite thing to say to the techs at work when they're on roofs and they're bitching it's cold. It's like, hot air rises, so technically it's hotter where you are than when we're standing. Yeah.
Try roofing in the summer. You'll hate it.
So we stayed in the stand. It was fine.
Yeah.
Heard some neat stuff.
Not bad.
Didn't end up seeing anything the next morning.
Did you set alarm till you get up, or?
Yeah. I set an alarm on my phone on vibrate.
Okay.
And then I had it underneath my pillow, so I'd hear it vibrating.
So
didn't need it, but
I'll say the reason we stayed in the stand was so that we didn't have to either get up way early and spend 3 hours in the darkness anyway, and lose sleep, or when we're walking in, bump something. It was a kind of curiosity thing to see if maybe when that sun broke, if there was zero disturbance ahead of time. Mm-hmm. If there'd just be deer there. That was the hope anyway. Sun would rise
there
and there'd
was
be deer there.
not.
Dude,
it was fun. I had fun though.
I had a new experience just today when I was out.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I hear the leaves rustling, and so I'm slowly turning over my left shoulder. I got my back against the tree in my chair, and I look, and here's a gray squirrel 3 feet away from me, just looking right in my eyes, and it just creeps ever so closely and just walked up, and it just kind of pawed me like a cat or a dog that wants outside, just kind of hey buddy, hey, kind of can you move so I can get in this tree? I've never had that. I thought I was gonna freak out, but I was just it straight up pawed me.
It's kind of scary when they get on that close to you and they're staring at you and they're twitching their tail and they look like they're gonna pounce.
He had it was weird not to anthropomorphize the squirrel, but it straight up had this inquisical kind of just soft look to its eyes, kind of just hey, what's up, buddy? What you doing in there?
Hello.
Hey. So also from this last weekend, so we both got a deer, right?
Right.
Jackass over here.
Uh-oh.
He's getting it tested for CWD, like the deer I hunter tainted.
Okay.
I haven't got it. I haven't sent it in yet.
You didn't test your deer that you got down here?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why?
So I thought about it more, and I'm making summer sausage. I'm trying to do a lot more byproducts, and I like to share that. And it would be very inconsiderate for me to give possibly positive deer to people and have them eat it.
So then what do you give them to test?
You just drop the... All right, so...
You drop the carcass?
You know how I sent you that form to get the information? Yeah. All you do is take the head with about 2 inches of the neck.
So it's the head, okay.
It's at least where I was, it's just a kiosk, and they have this instructions there. You just fill out that form. You get a register tag that is, one goes in the bag, one you keep so you know what the animal number is that you're registering, and you drop it in the kiosk, and then you can just text whoever's managing that kiosk. Mm-hmm. And within 10 to 12 days, you get results back.
So again, they don't want the meat to test.
Yeah, it's just
they want the spinal cord and the brain.
Yeah.
Yes and no. So what they're testing for is the prevalence of the prion protein, which we talked about in the last episode. They're checking to see if it has any of the proteins.
Right, which they can only get from...
Well, it's most prominent, not only, but most prominent in spinal tissues and in the thyroid glands.
Which is up in the throat.
Pituitary gland, one of the two. I forget which now. But, and the shitty part is a deer could contract CWD and not have enough of the contaminant or protein in it. So when they get the results back, it doesn't actually give you a negative. It goes non-positive.
It says non-positive.
Which is kind of frustrating, but I mean...
It's not positive.
Right. They're basically saying...
They even disclaim that it's not saying this deer doesn't have CWD. It's just saying that there weren't enough proteins prevalent.
It might, but we're not positive.
But it's...
So, okay.
I get it tested so that I have a peace of mind when I'm sharing it with other people, seeing that I have been giving away stuff, and I think it would be extremely inconsiderate.
Fuck that. Hey, the sooner somebody contracts CWD, the faster they'll make a cure for it, and it won't be a problem.
Speaking of you bitching about the DNR and their funding is in Devil's Advocate, that's the other reason our funding goes to.
Yeah, I know. It's part of it.
I'll say, you had an eye awakener this weekend when the whole mining stuff, which apparently one of the mines is going through.
Yeah, well, there's nothing me and you can do about it.
Try and be active.
Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, never mind. I found it.
It was lost.
I found my train of thought.
Now it's found.
It's still on the tracks. So if they come back and say the deer's positive, what are you going to do with it?
I'll eat it myself. I just won't share the meat. The woman says she doesn't want anything to do with it, so that'll be something where I can just...
Oh, but you'll bring home a cat that's got fleas.
So I walked in the room today.
We're not staying at your house anymore.
No? Nope. It's already almost done.
You guys
We're doing all the treatments.
I don't give a shit.
And he's isolated to one room. We're doing quarantine.
Fleas don't give no shits about doors.
This is true.
We also have barrier protectors and everything.
No.
But I understand not having the dogs come over or
Fleas can
anything
jump
until that's done.
Real high.
Talk about a pain in the ass for me for bowling night.
Oh, did you have
Inconsiderate
fleas?
dick.
You caught some fleas?
Not yet. We did at one point. We had fleas
I
here.
remember when you got fleas.
A long time ago. But yeah, he's an inconsiderate asshole.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
You brought him?
My house.
Yeah, your house. Now I got to drive all the way from here to your house. Well, not your house because I'm not saying your house anymore because you got a cat with fleas.
So
I got to stay at her fucking parents' house.
Fleas?
Huh?
What happens once he's for sure no fleas?
It'll be a while before I'm back at your house.
So not this next bowling, but the one after that will be good because that'll be 6 weeks.
Yeah, it'd probably be longer than that.
I don't think the listeners care about this at all.
No. But guess what? It's bottom of the glass. Right, Rob?
Correct.
Fucking
Fleas.
bottom of the glass. We talk about whatever we want. You can hunt fleas. Oh, you spilled.
I did.
Yes.
Not me.
Dude,
Look how much I have.
I dodged all these. Are these the stickers?
Yeah, they're the stickers, but you got it on my felt.
Yeah, the felty felt.
Oh, I almost said a dirty word. I'm not Kevin Hart. I can't get away with that.
Yeah.
No comment.
You have all seen the skit where he looks at him and just goes,
I mean, the bitch got to drop on us. My back is against the wall. This is not a test. It's the real deal. Help me. Help me. Nigga.
What?
I can't say it. I can't because I'm white. And
So,
even if I'm
yeah.
reciting something I've seen somewhere or heard, I can't say it because I'm a racist.
If you didn't say, you have video that shows your weight.
We were going to do a triggered
Yep.
episode. That probably would have been on there.
I think that's a little beyond triggered.
Yeah.
So, Rob, are you going to be a part of this episode on like the last one?
What do you mean? I wasn't on the last one.
He's looking at porn.
I'm not. I'm looking at words.
Looking at the dark web over here.
No.
Dude, I love the one. I forget what jokes you're reading, but I still sticks in my head of the joke about the pedophile. And don't be mean to pedophiles. At least they slow down in the school zones. That is
That's the ones
priceless.
that you said.
Oh my god, that's priceless.
Fucked.
Okay.
So stand versus blind. Dustin prefers stand?
I prefer anything elevated. Technically,
He likes to be off
elevated
the ground.
I
blinds.
think that would be a
but
stand still, right?
Yeah.
Technically.
I would
So a
consider
blind-
anything that's elevated a stand.
blind
anything-
Is on the ground.
When you
right?
say blind, most people think on the ground.
yeah.
But then you have, because then
Elevated blind.
box stand.
Yeah.
You don't call it a box blind.
Yeah, you do.
No, it's called a box stand.
Well, box blind is just on the ground. That's a
Nobody
thing.
builds a box blind on the ground.
Horseshit. Technically, the trailer we were in was a black box blind.
That was off the ground.
It's ground level, you fucker. But you just get a better vantage.
Technicalities.
You can
That's
see all the
but it's like
stuff.
if you're gun hunting a field or something, being up high doesn't really help you.
Because you're already good.
Yeah,
right?
but it does help with the travel.
Given
bullet.
terrain,
Yeah. It's just one of those, like, if I'm shooting at a deer and I know the road's 400 yards away, I'm not going to be comfortable shooting at a deer ground level.
I ain't comfortable shooting one at 400 yards regardless.
No, I'm saying the deer... the deer could be
think that's
30,
it.
40 yards, but if the road's, like, 400 yards away, you're technically at level with the deer. That bullet, you might even have an upward trajectory.
Oh, you're okay. You're talking about
Versus when you're
trajectory.
elevated, that bullet's going to go right on the ground shortly after the deer, or
Right.
whatever your quarry is. Unless you're shooting with 20. Like, it just depends on how much your bullet's going to travel. If you got a shotgun, I don't care.
Do you think they should open up deer season to all year and just put limits on?
No.
I don't think
yearly
so.
bag limit?
I feel, to be honest, I mean, I guess it would have to come with an instant death roadkill deer in the summer. Me tasting that meat and knowing what it tastes like, because I have a feeling it's going to just taste. They're not putting on the fat. They're not putting on the calories as much. They're not surviving.
Yeah, but you
through the winter.
don't. Deer fat's not good anyway.
No, but they're obviously putting on weight. They're putting on mass. There's more protein, or there's more nutrients in the meat because
Like-
it's intending to survive.
Right, they're bulking up for the winter because of the scarcity of food.
Fat's a byproduct of that, but there's going to be just in general more nutrition in the animal. Now does maybe they're going to be feed bagging because they're They got their fawns to take care of.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of that stress hormone would be in there just because, well, if anyone's a parent, they know. I'm not, but I...
Okay, speaking of stress hormone, I personally think it's a myth. I don't think it makes a difference because we shot both of our deer, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't instantly die. So they were stressed.
Essentially, they did. They didn't have enough... Well, we shot through the heart, so even if...
Right, they weren't pumping nothing.
But
like, still.
So when you gut shot a deer, it's gonna taste different.
Only the meat that
It's tainted.
the bile touches.
If a lot of people that gut shot deer, some of it has to do with this, is depending on how long, it can take that deer up to 10 hours to die. And if you're trailing it, you're pushing it, you're running it. That's why a lot of people wait till the next day.
Yeah. So
It
you're not
also
stressing
means
it out
that
more.
you've got that stress, you've got the heat of the animal still sitting there. It's not getting gutted, so then that's all sitting there. But all right, so Ronell had one. He shot a deer and it fell in a cavern.
Mm-hmm.
It died, but it took all night because it got gut shot and fell in this cavern, and it took it like 10 hours to die. And they said the deer was inedible. Like, it just tasted terrible. And this is a man that's ate everything on the planet.
Right.
And he has no problem. Like, they tried. They just said it was inedible. Like, just tasted like hot garbage. Just because it's pumping that much testosterone and all
Was it the
that stuff.
testosterone or was it because they gut shot it and it was seeping through everything?
Right.
It wasn't enough to, like, it didn't break the cavity. Like, just every part of that deer was just bad. The back straps tasted bad, and you got the whole cavity separating that.
Was it eating a lot of sagebrush?
I don't know. I
I don't know because like with cows,
that's
are
why
under-
they instantly kill them with that little pneumatic plunger right to the temple.
ever been to a cattle farm?
What they're supposed to be doing now is actually isolate so that the cattle can't see the first one die.
But then it still doesn't taste different. I don't think.
No,
They're
but it's
under
still an
immense
instant-
stress at a
like,
cattle farm, right?
It's an instant death versus like as you're dying. Like your body is doing everything it can to survive. It's in our nature.
I suppose. And adrenaline.
I don't know. I think it's a myth. I think I'm going to eat it regardless.
I probably still will, but if it tastes like terrible, that'll just be cut in a
Don't,
burger.
I was going to say, don't eat it plain. Mix it with something.
Wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
Like teriyaki.
But
This
it's not
is
a
very
myth.
true.
You can actually like straight up take a deer and you could torture it till it died. I don't recommend it. And then take a deer that just blindsided, take it out,
recommend it.
and it's
Do a
gonna
taste
have
test?
different taste. Yeah, do the cocoa.
They could also just have a different taste because they're different deer. That's something, I don't feel like that's something you can just...
If you did in the most controlled environment, it would have a difference.
I'm just picturing you waterboarding
So what
a
if...
deer.
What if... What?
Just picturing a deer being waterboarded like... Tell me if the meat's gonna taste different.
What if they tranked a deer, cut out a little square of meat, ate it, right? Not really all that stressed because it went to sleep.
I'm tracking.
And then after it woke back up, they gave it some time. It calmed down, gave it a few days. And then they just like bullied the shit out of it and just stressed it the fuck out, put it to sleep, took another little chunk and ate it. You think that same deer would taste different?
No.
I do.
No, I think it tastes the same.
I do.
I think it's going to taste the same.
Yeah. But couldn't you say the same about fish?
Fish have a different nervous system completely.
Same concept.
Do fish have adrenaline?
They have to. That's why they fight when you reel them in. Otherwise, they wouldn't fight. They would just
But that could just be their...
the brain.
natural instinct.
Yeah. Do fish have adrenaline? Now I'm curious. I'm going to look this up quick.
That's a good one because I know there's I can't think of what it's called.
You have a phone in your pocket.
Or what about like
This isn't live,
farms? Is chicken different
No, I was
too?
gonna say that it's a Japanese thing that they do, and they actually take a rod and shove it through the spine so the fish dies, so they don't tense as much. That's what. It's weird because with fish, no one gives a shit. You'll let it just catch it and throw it in a bucket, and let it torture and swim around in the bucket till you kill it at the end. But everyone gets pissed off when a deer suffers or something like that. Yeah,
Right.
like with fish, we don't give a fuck.
I don't know. I don't think it's true. I just don't feel it is.
What part?
The whole, what do you call it?
Stress hormone.
Stress. Yeah.
They do.
Fish do?
Yeah. Adrenaline and noradrenaline, the fight or flight hormones.
But would it affect the white meat differently? Because they don't. like their circulatory system? Is it even like near what
it's all white
mammalian?
meat.
Well, they also say that fish don't feel pain.
They don't register pain the same way.
Well, so I heard this thing.
Fear.
Right, I heard that's kind of like the same thing with deer. Like a lot of wild animals, it's kind of that same way because they're not used like us, right? We're in environments where it's easy to have accidents and hurt yourself, like you cut yourself, you stub your toe, crap like that. So we grew up
being pussies.
Well, essentially, that's kind of what we are. But growing up, feeling different levels of pain, and then you, after a certain time, you can associate different injuries with different pain levels. But deer, since they typically don't get injured, right? You don't see a lot of them with like old injuries, like scars. A lot of them. I'm not saying all of them.
Well, I was gonna say, look at the most of them, like stuff. You see them limping and stuff. They
like when they get shot in the ass with an arrow, right? They take off running, but usually they're totally fine and they don't limp all that much. It's because they don't know what it is. They're not used to feeling stuff like that.
Especially not deer per se, but just look at cats, like big cats and stuff like that. If they take a claw to the ass or something when they're fighting, they bite at that stuff when something's stuck in them. They understand the irritation.
They understand
and
that.
They don't want it there. Like
the dogs are the same way.
Tail, it's gonna meow and then it's gonna lick itself where it got stuck.
But deer, typically you don't see them doing that.
You'll see them limp and stuff, though. But I don't know if that's just because of muscles.
Is it because they can't use that leg, or is it because they actually feel the pain? I'm pretty sure I read a study saying that they don't feel pain in the way that we think.
Or
when we think of pain, it's not the same.
They don't acknowledge it.
Right, because they have no idea what the fuck it is.
In reality, isn't pain? I mean, it's
just weakness leaving the body.
Well, no, it's your body. It's your body being uncomfortable with its current situation. I mean,
that's
like why the whole
right now,
mind over
my
matter
knee
thing.
itches.
But if you ignored it, you'd eventually
it would
get comfortable.
still itch, like my stank feet.
I don't know. I just don't.
So, Rob,
be awkward.
Blind or stand?
I take the blind.
Right, it's more you're not in the elements. Yeah. Although there's nothing like sitting in the woods on like a 30-degree day.
I just picked the blind because I've never been in anything else.
In the trees, in the woods.
It is kind of fun.
Breathing
like
that crisp air.
When you're sitting in a stand and it's snowing, it just starts flecking on your face and stuff.
That sounds horrible.
It's not that bad.
The thing that sucks, my biggest peeve with blinds, anything that's blind related, is you get a detachment to where you're at. Like if you're out there, you can hear a little leaf rustle when you're out in a stand. But if you're in a blind, like I feel like you're dulling your senses and you don't have that the step that you're supposed to have when you're hunting. You're just waiting.
So, okay, going back to the whole adrenaline game taste thing, do you think, I guess I don't know how many deer you've shot in your lifetime, but pre-rut, post-rut, and rut deer, do they taste the same or taste different to you?
Oh,
because I've never noticed a difference.
I will say I've had what you would call a gamey buck. One of the bucks that were shot when I was all the way up in Black River Falls, Jackson County, northern Wisconsin. We used to hunt up there, and there was definitely during like late rut, you could tell it was weathered out and stuff. Probably a 3-year-old, and it did have a different taste, but
it was also 3 years old.
I was to say the thing is I don't think I could quantify it. Because most of the deer I've shot have been under 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't shot any monster buck to really have that benchmark to go off of. Because any younger deer is going to taste
That's
the
a monster
same.
buck right there. A monster.
Yeah, that's not a monster buck.
It's the biggest one I've ever shot.
I've never shot a deer.
It's bigger than what you both got.
I've never killed a deer.
It doesn't matter if it's a young deer, old deer, whatever.
So you shot a deer. I think you
But
grazed
there is a noticeable taste difference on a younger deer. Everyone's like, oh, good eating. At least it was a good eating. Dude, shoot what makes you happy.
No,
if it fills your freezer, fill it.
I would probably say that's probably true. I would feel like it'd have to be true because veal and steak are completely different, but that's way younger.
But you need to justify your harvest by that.
No, fuck no.
Like, I shot it. Oh, at least it's good eating. Like,
as long as it doesn't have spots when you shoot it.
Oh, yeah, too. I haven't done that.
I don't care.
I bet it would taste good.
Oh, I'm sure it would. I'm sure it tastes phenomenal. Them inner loins are going to be like butter.
Are they even inner loins? You're going to have like chopsticks.
Yeah, but they're going to be butter.
Yeah, in her loins.
They are delicious. I cooked mine from that deer.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
What's your favorite thing to eat off your deer? Like just in general, like what you're like, I can't wait to have this.
Backstrap. Yep.
That's the stereotypical hunter. What do you like to eat?
Well,
although I've never had buck nuggets.
I like the fucking jerky.
I hate that people.
He doesn't like it.
That.
What?
He doesn't like it. You know what?
Good.
Fuck this guy. I'm gonna go get you some right now.
Fucking A-right, Dougie. Why don't you like beef? Why don't you like deer jerky?
All right. So what it boils down to is, you've had venison, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you know, straight up, venison and beef taste different.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had homemade beef jerky?
Yeah.
Have you had homemade venison jerky?
Yeah.
Is there any real distinguishable flavor profile difference?
Not a lot, but I think it all depends on how it's made.
So why waste the venison when you can do so many other good, delectable cuts and ways to cook it? If I want to make jerky, I'll go get a discount at the store when they have a cheap sale and just grind up and make beef jerky.
But it's leaner. It's better for you, especially if it's homemade.
A lot of people cut meat into it, or fat into it anyway, but I get that. But if I'm going to do that, I would rather make a snack stick. So I get the flavor, it holds it, and I get more meat. You lose
I think it tastes a little bit better. I think it tastes better.
I'd say
Might not be a lot, but
it's not enough to distinguish a difference. Versus if you have beef snack stick and a venison snack stick, if you have beef summer sausage, venison summer sausage, there's a lot more things that you could have a distinguishable flavor profile difference than jerky, which just is dry salted meat.
You don't do sausage or jerky with yours?
No, I made snack sticks. Actually, he ate them all. I made like 10 pounds of snack sticks, 5 pounds of summer sausage, and 24 pounds of bratwurst. I should have brought you some bratwurst, dude.
Fuck yeah. What the fuck?
I smoked them under some Jack Daniel's whiskey barrel chips.
See, I prefer the jerky.
Sorry that took me so long. I live in a mansion, so
I forgot. Had to go up 6 flights of stairs.
It's kind of dry because I went to cook it. When I cooked it, it's in a dehydrator, and when I did it, you're supposed to only have to do it in
you don't like it.
It's like 4 hours at like 160 degrees, right? But at the end of that, it was really soft.
That's how I like it, though.
It wasn't done.
Even.
So it was already 9:30 at night, and I had to work the next day. So I just fucking turned it down and went to bed.
Here's my other peeve about jerky.
I think it's good this way.
Good.
I love it dry.
You did it the right way. You actually went, because I was with you when you put it through the jerky slicer. Excuse all the you're gonna hear now.
Chewing on jerky. Hunters will understand.
So.
Great hunting snack in the woods, by the way.
Agreed. And you did yours right, because you actually took a whole cut it with the grain, seasoned it, and dehydrated it. Fuck jerky guns. Fuck you if you use a jerky gun. That's not jerky. That's ground sliced patties.
We're going to make some of that, too, because that's how she likes it.
There's no texture.
It's softer. It's easier to eat.
It's horse shit.
I think it's all personal preference, really.
I like it this way. Salty.
It holds, yeah.
You can chew on
so
like a
much
ball
flavor,
of meat.
It holds so much more juice. Once you grind it down and stuff, you just rendered out. You've rendered out the integrity of the meat. Yeah. And that's my other peeve. My mom used to make it she still does, but I hate it. You got strips of dehydrated burger.
Say like a lot of this, you're supposed to cut it so when the strips, when you bite on it, you're pulling the grains apart. You're not fighting it
like that,
like you just did. There was a couple of pieces of meat that I was trying to do that with, but no matter how I spun the chunk of meat and tried to cut it,
was that wrong?
I couldn't get it, so I just said fuck it and cut it. I don't remember.
All right,
I cut a lot of jerky. I mean, not a lot because they were small deer. I only got like 30 pounds of meat out of the deer.
I feel like I've processed a lot of deer. Cody actually did his first through and through
by
himself process.
I'm proud of me.
I'll say, and Rob, you probably actually understand the cuts, at least what they would be used for, better than
He'd
both
be useful.
of us. But tell me, was that not interesting to actually have that chunk of meat in front of you and actually know exactly what part of the animal it came off of? Like knowing.
Oh yeah.
Especially on the back leg.
Every deer I ever get, it's always at my dad's house, and he helps. And I'm just kind of along for the ride because he's been doing it so long. I just said, fuck it. I'm doing this one on my own.
Well, and
that's why I couldn't go by myself if I wanted to. Because after I shoot it, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do.
Call me.
Hey.
That's about it, though. You know what I mean?
I could show you. I showed him some new tricks.
I'll piggyback off that because legit, I've shot probably close to 20 deer now. probably close to 20 deer now. And I've only got 2 of them prior to this weekend, just because it's one of those things. I'm in your boat.
He always hunts with somebody.
I hunt with someone, and normally it's end of night, and they don't have the patience, and they're quick, and it's like it's already nightfall.
See, when I'm done, I could take everything off of it.
Right after it's gut,
butcher it.
You can butcher it.
Well, that's where he helped me out and gave me some tips, and it's the first time I feel like I got it now. Obviously,
it's not hard.
Well, yeah,
at all.
And it's like last year he got one. Was that last year that we came out? Wiggles and I, the face slaughtered deer.
Yeah,
shot a deer in the face.
And I kind of went through it with him,
bad.
and then his fiance got one later in the year.
I don't remember.
They came out,
I think so.
And I walked through that with her too. Mm-hmm. And so this is your first time doing it yourself, but it's just like it
was a lot less daunting being a smaller deer too.
Yeah, it's just one of those things you just don't hesitate to ask. I've processed, when it comes to processing the deer, I suck at gutting. Like I said, I've only done so many. But when it comes to processing and breaking it down, that is almost as enjoyable as hunting sometimes.
Right.
Just knowing, you have you are gratified in knowing what your cut is and what you have. You personally doing it instead of sending it in and just being like, oh, now look, it's me. You don't have that attachment.
Right. But
so many people do.
Some people just don't have the time.
I was just saying, it takes a lot of time. I can only imagine.
It really didn't take us that long.
I would say it
took long enough, I'm sure.
It takes learning and stuff like that.
Half hour to an hour at least, right?
Process a whole deer? Longer than that. Especially if you got dull knives.
Well, I was going to say, dull knives.
A super sharp knife.
When your fiance came over, from
do you
the
know
time
how to
my
sharpen knives on a stone? Mm-hmm. Like a pro?
Oh, I want that.
I have a stone upstairs. Will you sharpen some knives for me?
What kind is it? Just a regular stone or a wet stone?
It's a wet stone. It's got
you
two sides.
One before it. Yeah. Okay.
Coarse and fine.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, once you get good at it, I can skin process and get a deer
roller
in an
stick,
hour and a half.
whatever the hell. Honing stick.
That's just to get any weight.
That's just to get that rolled edge back straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely did not know that prior to yesterday. I thought it sharpened your knife. It doesn't. It just rolls that edge.
Hey, I was just running that, and you're like, "Oh, I'm good," and you're like, "It's still dull. What the fuck?" God damn it, Billy Mays! You didn't tell me this.
Oh, look, piece of hair.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
What's the best time to hunt?
Rut.
Time of year, time of day.
Cooler weather's better.
Cooler weather.
They're moving more.
I prefer the bow season. You do have that little bit of you don't have to bundle up completely, so you get that. But
especially around here, man. Oh my God.
Well, it's hit or miss. I was out bow
probably this year
for archery season.
Fucking ridiculous.
For Cody's sake, I'll call it archery
60
season.
degrees.
And I went one day 58 degrees, and the next week it was 9 degrees. 9 degrees. I'm like, my last layer of coal for this type of weather is my blaze orange. You can't wear blaze. Not bow hunting.
Why not?
Because I'm already on the ground.
You can't see that color.
I know, but it's just they got to get so close already, and they can see the break of your pattern.
Dude, you can shoot your crossbow 200 yards.
I cannot shoot.
There he goes with his crossbow.
Hence why I called it archery season.
But the best time of day.
I'm apparently
early morning, late evening.
From what I was listening to, because after we got back and I was so frustrated just not seeing stuff, and I never see stuff in the morning, or if I do, it's
I never see anything in the morning either.
That's not true. That's when we saw those. Remember? When we were out?
That was afternoon.
No, it was early morning, but they were too far.
They say mid-morning.
The one you shot at?
No,
8
before
to
that.
10.
Oh, yeah.
I would say mid-morning 8 to 10 is actually some of the best buck movement during pre-rut time.
Yeah.
But as far as evenings go, that's when you're going to get your large herds and they're just making their last moves and stuff. You get lucky with the buck, but if you're actually buck hunting, most bucks are actually killed in the morning, apparently. Now, don't quote me on this, but this is hearsay from what I've heard from a couple people in pursuit, trying to figure out with all the standing crops this year, where the fuck are all the deer? Because I need to fill my freezer.
Man.
Yeah, that's what
I had a guy at work today tell me that he has gone on hunting on Thanksgiving morning every single year, right? For as long as he can remember.
Knock on shit.
He decided to skip it this year. Well, he's got them fancy cameras. They're not cell, they're Wi-Fi, but they piggyback off each other's signal. So you can set them farther and farther out. So the more you have, the farther they can get.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He's starting to get stuff ready, make stuff for Thanksgiving or whatever. His phone vibrates. 8:30 in the morning.
Walked right. One of the big bucks on his property walked right by the stand, and he wasn't there. If he'd have been there, it never would have walked by.
No, that's how it works.
You never know. That's one of those. Is my presence stopping them, or are they really not there?
Right. And yes, a tree does make a sound in the woods if it falls and no one's around to hear it.
Well, you were around to hear it, though.
But the tree didn't know we were there.
Or did it?
I almost did my first... so I almost always hunt Thanksgiving. The last 2 years I haven't. Actually, no, last year I did a morning hunt.
I tried to.
So this year I didn't hunt. We had a bowling tournament. On my way to my parents, I told the woman, I said, just keep your eye out there. That's public land if we happen to see a deer. And sure as shit.
Pull over.
I pulled over 3 times, scouted this thing. I'm like, I can't get far enough away from the road without spooking this deer, and then I'd have to cross the river. But it took me 15 minutes of sitting there contemplating and just sitting in a parking area. Do I go back? Do I try and, just figuring out, do I really need to do this? I almost had my first, spot a deer, checked it was public, and decided I was going to get out and stalk that deer to take it out.
Well, because you can shoot from the side of the road if it's public land, right?
You can
have
shoot
to be
from the
50
side of the road,
feet.
but you have to be 50 feet from the center.
From the center of the road.
Which I would have been 50 feet from the center of the road, but then it was a 10-foot wide river.
Or at least claim you're 50 feet.
Yeah. It was like
Just
a
tell him
10-foot wide river.
What is 50? What is 50 divided by 3?
50 divided by 3?
Yeah.
Well, if you went... you're going to make me math enough that I can't do it.
1.75.
It's enough.
15, 16 to 17, somewhere in between there.
Just tell them you're 16 meters off the road. They'll be confused and never know what you're talking about.
Or just tell them you identify as a mathematician.
Mathematicians are wrong.
Mathematician. It's all theory.
Yeah, but if you identify one, it doesn't matter.
So when I shoot 2 bucks, can I say the second one identified as a doe?
Absolutely.
Yes.
If I can be a woman with tits and a vagina, yeah, that deer can identify as a doe.
And you can have a vagina if you really want to.
See, I bet that
And if
deer.
We watched. I think we watched that together.
Yeah, we did.
That GIF.
The penis going
Yeah.
back inside of the.
That was weird, man.
Yeah, we did.
That was weird.
So,
but anyway,
yeah.
back on track.
So walk me through from the time that you find the deer that you shot to the end.
Like what part? Just
walk you through it.
The whole thing.
So
you shot your deer.
Shot
you
it.
Find it.
it died, and you found it.
Yep. What's next?
What's next?
Mm-hmm.
You got to gut it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of public land, you can't. Right?
wrong. You can leave. So on public land, it's okay to leave the intestinal, the digestive system, and the gutting process, but you're not supposed to leave because, Western hunting and stuff like that, they can cape it, they can leave the carcass, the spine, all that. You're not supposed to do that on public land. The only parts of the deer that can stay in the field
you
is
can gut
the
it
gutting process.
and leave that there.
Yes, but
You
some
just
people
can't-
want to quarter it.
You
and do
can't
all that.
quarter it there. Okay.
Or they quarter it and throw it back out in the land, and that's why they did that to stop dumping.
There's a dumpster here in town.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Carcass dumpster?
freaking awesome.
Right?
You don't. How much public land do you have in your general area?
In Jefferson County, there's the Jefferson Wildlife Marsh, and that motherfucker is huge.
Okay, that makes sense.
So,
So it
but
looks
there's
like we both
there's
need
a
to invest in some
community
ways.
around here that sponsors the dumpster. So,
Oh, kind of like Doug Dern. Shout out Doug,
yeah, kinda.
Casanova,
So,
Wisconsin.
but yeah, so you got to gut it.
All right. So walk me through that.
So you lay the animal on its back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of different ways that you can do it. This is the way that I was taught.
Oh, and
This
also
is the way that I do it.
And drink your.
Sorry, I'm talking, man. I was eating jerky. It was delicious.
It was delicious. Cody, you gotta tell them about the new tool you found. Well, that I showed you.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. So, what I do is I make an incision just right above the sternum,
Mm-hmm.
and get that started, and then I move towards the top of the chest,
Mm-hmm.
and then run my knife down with the tip of my finger.
Do you use the
On the tip?
You use the hook.
I don't use a gut hook. I've never used it, but it's essentially that's what my finger's turning into.
So-
I turn myself into the gut
For
hook.
the audio listeners, he's talking right now from the sternum. If you were standing at the head, he's going.
Yeah,
from
if you're standing at the
sternum
head,
to groin.
sternum to groin after I make the incision toward the groin. And then, so I work my blade all the way down making sure not to poke any of the internals because you have to get all the way through the hide, that layer of skin, to get down into the cavity. So you do that all the way down, connect those two, and then usually what I do is then I go to the asshole.
Oh yeah.
And I jam my knife in around it, and I cut it out as much as I can. You're just attaching the asshole.
I think that's what Jeffrey Dahmer did too.
Yeah. And then you go up into the cavity, you cut out the diaphragm as far as you can get. That's all I do, because at some point it just kind of tears out.
Right.
And then I reach up into the chest as far as I can, and I find the esophagus, and I cut it as high up as I can get it, and then you just essentially you grab the whole thing from in the chest cavity, and you just roll it out.
So what he's saying,
it just kind of comes right on out. It's all real
when
quick.
He says he reaches up is like, imagine your hand is at your sternum and you're actually working inside your rib cage.
Like I was trying to play you as a puppet, but I went in through your chest.
Nice.
Essentially is what I'm trying to do. Other guys will actually split the sternum and open that chest cavity all the way up.
I had a rib splitter too.
Yeah,
if we needed it.
But it's just cartilage.
Yeah.
So if you have a sharp enough knife, you can split it.
No, it's just to hold the cavity open.
But
it's kind of
so you can split that wide open so you can see more in there.
Right.
And some guys will actually split the sternum, not the sternum, the pelvis.
Okay.
They'll break that all the way open, because then if you do it that way, you can cut like a channel down into it all the way underneath the asshole, and you basically have a channel straight from the head of the deer, or inside the neck, all the way down through the legs. And once everything's detached, you just kind of scoop it out.
It's just proof
and
that
it
our
drains
entire
easy.
digestive system is just one giant connected thing. It's just from the throat to whatnot.
And as long as you don't poke nothing, it doesn't even stink.
So you got that done, right? Everything's out.
What are
you doing next?
Dragging it out of the woods.
Normally, if you're still hunting, like if it's a morning kill, you want to, if you get down...
Oh, you can, if it's cold enough, you can let them lay there.
You can let them lay there.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing you do after you gut and pull it out, which I'm just going to segue off of what Cody was saying. The two most intimidating things about gutting that people are scared about is splitting the center open, like you were saying, unzipping from sternum to groin, poking those intestinal tracts, or breaking the intestines, because
breaking the intestines not bad. If you poke the stomach,
well, yeah,
it stinks. It smells like a really bad
gross.
Fart, but it's like times.
Because then you get chunks of corn and bile, which even then it's not horrible. You just kind of hurry up a little bit and get it out of there and just rinse it out quick.
You stomach it. You have to stomach it and get
none
it
of it's that bad.
No.
The other
it's
part
really
that's
not as gross as you think it would be.
Open that esophagus, like you're cutting that blind, and those are the two things I think scare people most. Is you're inside an animal and you're basically working blind. I think those are the two things that scare people.
Well,
most.
up until that one, I let you gut, and I was just kind of guided you through it.
Well, I killed it. I might as well.
Yeah, you were like the thought of touching all of that stuff kind of grossed you out.
It's the same with fish. I'm weird. I don't understand it.
But like once you do it once or twice, you don't even think twice. I could gut you, and it wouldn't smell that bad.
Well, it's big.
You got a lot more.
I think
go
people
through.
would be odd because it's probably warm.
It's very warm.
Yeah.
You know, and you're reaching inside of that animal that had just died, so it's probably
and like mine.
It's not the
all the blood was still inside the cavity.
Yeah, it's not the most fun part, but that's what I was going to
So I
segue
was
off
soaked
of.
in blood.
Segue off of what you just said with the whole blood is, if you're planning to hunt still, or you're not going to like take the deer right away to hang it, the best thing you can do is find some sort of stump or something where you can get the chest cavity in the head higher than the ass and let it work its way and drain out. Because that blood, a lot of times, is what people, the gamey taste and stuff. But on top of that, it will start to smell when it's that much blood.
Yeah, like if you can get a deer, like if it's warm out, if it's breezy, you can hang a deer up, and as long as you got the chest cavity open and you get airflow in there, that's why a lot of guys will split the pelvis. It's for more airflow too. You can hang it up in 50-degree weather.
Oh, I'm sure.
For a while, as long as it's out of the sun and there's a breeze. You just got to dissipate the heat inside that animal.
I still have 2 ham hocks, the back legs sitting on a table. I've just been flipping them every day.
Yeah. Oh, are you aging them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I should just get strings and let them hang so they're getting full circulation. But just
are you
them every day.
Are you gonna age them to the point where they?
No.
Where you
finish
get that little
your thought so people
that
know what
little
you're
bit of mold
about.
or no?
That was Saturday. They got skinned on Monday. So I'll probably go another 3 days.
Because it's skinned, right? They're just sitting on the table.
They're just sitting there. And
I heard that with that. Yeah.
You said ham hocks.
No, I said the hams, the hawks.
He called them the hams, the hams.
Ham is
because I heard that for deer, you don't want the mold on something that's skinned. You don't want the mold on the outside.
Unless
on the meat
itself. Shave it all.
Unless you shave the whole fucking thing, but that's
and then you're wasting meat.
Right. If you're gonna do it that way, you leave the cape on, you leave the skin on, and then you hang it.
No, I just do the.
And then the inside of the chest will actually mold like cheese or
salt it.
So what we're talking about is dry aging your meat, essentially.
Which I've never done.
You can do it in salt too.
You can do it in butter.
You're marinating it.
Only the outside.
But so what
you can do it. You can do it in almost anything.
You're letting the deer hang so it can age just a little, work out any more blood that's in it, and just it allows it to cure. Right. Is that the right, Rob? I would say this is
you're just curing
your
meat.
cup of tea.
Yeah, that's all it is. You're naturally curing the meat.
But whenever you do that, you really kind of I guess you don't have to, but that layer on the outside, so you can do it with salt or butter or fat, like anything that's going to provide that layer on the outside, because after that you're going to have to take all that off anyway.
Yeah, it turns into
regardless of what you do.
But what you're essentially doing in your dry aging is you're letting all the moisture,
it's like scabs,
release from the meat. Well,
you want it to go slow,
right?
because is it 60% humidity at like 40 degrees? 38 to 40 is like the roughly. Ideal. So theoretically, if you had a refrigerator, it's the perfect. If you could get it hanging so that there's air all around it, it's the perfect thing.
If you can get it hanging in there with nothing else in there.
People have like drying shacks.
That's essentially a fridge with everything taken out of it.
They make special bags that you
with a fan.
The dry age bags.
No, they're dry age bags, and it's like you stick your meat in there, and you can like wrap it in butter. You can do pretty much whatever you want with the meat.
No glove, no love. Right?
Stick it in this bag. Seal the bag and just let it sit. And the bag is specially made that it'll let moisture out, but not back in.
So it's like a permeated bag, so it can't build up the.
It can't build up bacteria,
dude.
Because if there's too much humidity, it'll
you'll ruin your meat.
Yeah. So we'll get back to what we do afterwards. But I was making bratwurst, and I had all the intestinal casing, natural casings. It said, take any unused casings and put back in this resealable bag that had salt in it. And refrigerate. So I did that. 6-7 days later in the fridge, the woman hits me a text and goes, "Why did you just she's yelling at me? The freaking bag built enough gases it actually popped this fucking seal. It started. She goes, it smelled like rotting meat. So
your fridge is not cold enough.
No, it just. I had it in the drawer, which is part of the problem.
Oh, you had it in one of the veggie drawers?
No, in the door drawer, so it wasn't close enough. But I have a brand new fridge.
So
drawer
on the door, the drawers.
Oh, like
the shelf,
like the
shelf.
Butter. Oh,
yeah. So it didn't. But I have a brand new, damn good fridge. It actually does a good job. But yeah, that was when you were talking about the dry aging. All I could think about was that bag just expanded. It had to have just expanded and exploded. She goes, "There's salt everywhere. Why didn't you just close it?" And I thought about it. I'm like, that fucking bitch exploded.
Gross.
That's funny.
But okay, yeah. So either you drag it out of the woods, or if you're still hunting, you let it sit and drain.
Do you want to hang it? I've seen a lot of people hang them from trees.
Yeah, I do. I usually hang it overnight, let it drain.
That's the whole draining process. Like if you kill it in the morning, let's say
blood coming out.
So I know quite a few people who will just go out and hunt for the day, and then I know a lot of people who do deer camps.
Mm-hmm. And deer camp is essentially what I did out in Wyoming. That was essentially deer camp, but it was elk camp.
There's two different versions of deer camp. There's the everyone just gets together post day of hunting and stuff, or there's a deer camp like Cody did. And it's just a matter of dudes getting together.
Right.
Or dudes are all hunting, so let's have a collaboration.
We need to do a trip. We'll go hunt fucking mule deer. We'll go hunt Ohio whitetail.
Just hit
I
Iowa.
don't care.
We can get all of it.
I'm in.
Iowa or Wyoming, actually. Wyoming muleys.
Iowa would be a lot cheaper to get to. Ohio would be even cheaper to get to.
It depends on tag prices, too. It's 3 times the tag price, but it's cheaper to get there. I'm going to go with the cheaper tag price.
Indiana.
Arizona, even.
Go to Arizona.
We need to plan a trip.
Out there.
I got a lot of stuff out there.
And fucking go hunt.
I'm getting an elk out in Arizona.
Us three.
It just weirds me out to think, like, desert hunting. Like, what?
Not desert. It's not desert.
No, I'm just saying
Where
in general.
I'm from, no desert. It's like
luscious
alpine trees, pine trees.
Yeah. It's weird.
Massive.
Like you see nothing but like deserty stuff forever, and then all of a sudden, boom, trees, grass, bushes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like where I'm from, it's like dense forest.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I've seen landscapes and stuff, and I know you've got some really cool cows. There's different ways to interpret it. The gray ghost, sorry. Like, they just vanish on you. But getting back to deer camp, deer camp sometimes gives hunters a terrible name.
Well, because everybody thinks they're just drinking, getting retarded.
Yeah, drinking, getting stupid. Like, yeah, opening day, almost until this year, maybe last year, I don't even touch a drink till the day after opening day.
We did.
Or it's like one or two.
He did this time.
It's one or two, but it's not.
You don't get drunk.
I know people that do go out in the woods to drink.
Well,
those guys are fucking idiots.
I feel like there's nothing wrong with having a few, but if you're going out there to use a firearm,
you're trying to use every sense you have to find said animal.
Yeah.
I
don't know. See, like when you say it like that, when I think like gun hunting, yeah,
that's where I'm from.
Like me and gun hunting, I'm literally sitting there waiting to see a flash of something, and so I can determine if yes, that's a deer or not. I'm not actually sitting there trying to be as quiet as I possibly can.
You'll change when you start hitting them public lands, man.
Well, you have to, but like bow hunting,
because you have to watch for people or what?
Well,
no, it's you got to walk in. You don't have set trails, so you can't build something. I mean,
we did.
You can build natural blinds.
That's what we did. Remember?
Oh yeah, on the public land.
Yeah, you can do natural blinds all you want. You just move stuff if it's dead.
That's what we did.
Like you can't you're not supposed to, depending on where you are. At least in the state of Wisconsin, south end, you're not even allowed to leave a ground blind up overnight, like a pop-up blind that's just canvas.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. Ours was literally made out of, fucking elk in Arizona.
That's called camera angle.
I mean, it's still a big animal.
Elk.
That's still more meat than I know what to do with in a year.
No.
Well, if I had it, I'd eat it because we wouldn't buy anything else.
I don't think I'd do any byproduct with elk. I might with some, like make some like nuggets.
I like elk better than I like venison.
Well,
see, and
elk is
it depends on what they eat,
one,
man.
Yeah.
If all they're eating is fucking sagebrush, it's not going to taste any better.
Antelope, man. I really do.
Oh, I like antelope too.
I want to
we
go.
have antelope in Arizona.
I should have. My 30th was supposed to go out to Wyoming.
Plan a trip.
A week out there, and I think I just need to do it and say if you're pissed at me.
So let's fucking plan it.
I'm in.
Let's plan a goddamn trip.
All right.
Let's do this shit.
Well,
I have more questions.
Don't you all just tell me you're going to do it and then leave it up to me to figure all this shit out.
2021. Unless you're going to help with the funding, 2021.
So I'm getting married in 2020, so.
Yeah,
right.
So this year is not going to work because...
Back on track.
So let's
finish cleaning your deer. You hang it up. Then what do you do?
There's two options. You can skin it right on the spot. It is easier to skin
while it's warm.
While it's warm, you can essentially. Some people even tie a rock to the neck, and you can just drive the ATV away that it's connected to, and it'll just skin off like a sock.
The whole thing off.
Insane.
You have to make the initial incisions.
Yes.
At the hooves, right?
So yeah, you go
the
like
elbows
this,
and the knees, and then
all the way up, and then the neck, and then you cape it, and then you start pulling down on it.
Well, you got this,
and then once you have
silver skin, no, on deer.
Nope, that's
no silver
later.
skin.
It's later on.
This is just
that's
the
farther
fascist,
in.
or the.
There's a lot of animals. You have that layer of the connective tissue that holds the skin onto the.
Yeah, you call it silver. It's called silver skin. Like when you take a back strap off a deer, one whole side is covered in silver skin.
That's not skin though. That's
it's
fashion.
Connective tissue that holds the skin on.
Fucking tendon is what it is. But it looks silver and it's a skin. It's silver skin. That's what he's saying.
Right.
But that's to protect the muscle. That's not to connect the muscle to the skin.
Dustin, let's try this again.
But it's still...
Because you're colorblind, you can't tell.
I know what silver skin is.
It looks like a skin, and it's silver, and it's on the meat.
Yes.
Okay,
right, but you can
silver skin.
You don't have to do anything. So
that's where we're at.
You don't have to take the hide and cut as you pull it off.
If you do it by hand, you kind of do sometimes. You'll hit tough spots.
Normally it's around your armpits, your leg joints, where the tail
man.
is.
When I was doing that one in there, right in here, especially
blew out
the
the
shoulder.
shoulder.
Well, it's similar when you skin a human too.
Yeah,
I had to toss my shoulder.
Really?
I only had this much that was good because
I cut out what I could and then saved like little chunks to just throw in with the burger.
So on the shoulder, it's got that divider on the blade.
Yeah.
The upper part of that would have been all right, but it was just so blood clot that I
Cut it out.
it
Make
was
blood
Cut out the
sausage.
blood cut.
dude.
Gross.
So I had a smaller hole than you, but that shockwave pushed everything up.
Oh yeah, mine was fucked.
Yeah, I was just like,
Fucked.
nope. There's 2 pounds.
I made the
there.
woman do that.
All right,
one.
you fucks. So you take the skin off.
Take skin off
Take
and then
the
you
skin
start
off, try and
quartering
trim
it
what
up.
you can for fat off before it gets hard.
Because there's sometimes layer of fat on a deer, which beef is the same fucking way.
But venison it's called tallow.
It's called tallow.
It's a waxier consistency.
Could you
It's
make a
not
candle
good.
out of it?
You
Yes,
can. You can
absolutely.
render it. Suet. You can
That's
make
what they
bird
used to
Well,
seed.
suet. That's what we.
That's what they used to do back in the day.
It makes a really good hand cream. You can make a waterproofer out of it.
It makes good
Dude,
lube too.
Son of a bitch!
there's-
I could have waterproofed my boots.
I saved
Lube.
mine, dude. I saved.
You
mine.
save yours?
Yep.
Okay, I
wanna
thought
try
about it. I
some
was gonna
stuff
put
this
it in the
time.
bird feeder, but
As much as I'm like this field the table and everything like that, I want to learn more about byproduct. And
did you bring that tanning
utilizing-
kit with you too, or no? Just the
No,
hide. That's fine. I was just curious.
All right, so cut off what you can.
You know the rest.
Cut off what do you can. What do you
I
mean?
know the rest, but do they know the
All right.
rest?
So the easiest way to do it is
Is look on
start-
YouTube.
Yeah.
So
YouTube
so your options are either you do it yourself or you take it to somebody to have them do it, right?
Before
Yeah.
you take it in, after you've got this deer, you've let it hang for a day
Oh.
or right away. Before you do anything,
We forgot about this.
once you get it hung and you've gutted it, as long as you haven't gut shot or punctured too much and had intestinal tracts inside.
You take a bite of the heart.
You can harvest the organs. I hear the liver's
Liver,
good, the heart.
heart,
That's about it that I know of.
nuggets.
If you want to save the testicles.
Man,
Speaking of which, when you're
people
cutting,
eat 'em.
one thing Cody left out: if you have a buck, you want to cut around the genitalia and try and remove it as a whole. You do not want to. You
Yeah, you don't
remove
split the
that.
scrotum down the middle. You
Don't
go
cut
around
big
it.
old deer dick off.
And then when you cut
There'll
it
be a
off,
tube.
you cut it off and you take your left hand, your right hand, throw it over your left shoulder and make a wish.
Superstition. That's
Yep.
not. So once you get it up inside the
Once you
deer,
get it
inside the chest cavity, about if you were, imagine you were touching on where your rib cage is directly back to your spine. There are two, depending on the size of the deer, they're called inner loins. They're the true tenderloin of an
Mm-hmm.
animal. Those are your most tender, succulent pieces of meat. Make sure you get them out. They're
You
kind
also
of hard
need
to
to
see if you've
register
never
your
seen
deer.
them. Yeah, you register your deer within whatever
It's
your
within 24 hours.
whatever your state's game
Yeah, you
commissions are.
Here in Wisconsin, you have 24 hours to register a deer. A deer.
A deer.
A deer.
Some places
Yeah.
you have to tag it with a paper tag. Wisconsin right now is a digital registry.
Correct. It's a digital registry, but you need to have that tag with the meat.
If you're transporting, yes. If
You
you,
need to
are
have
not
that tag.
the tag holder and have some sort of thing, you need to have the tag
Yes.
with you. So if you shoot a deer and give it to someone,
That tag has to go with that
that
meat.
tag has to go with the meat until it's in. Technically, you're supposed to hold it until the animal is
It's
consumed.
completely consumed.
That's the state of Wisconsin. I don't know about elsewhere, but
I mean, I don't have my tag from 2016.
you better not have meat from 2016 still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
We
had
just ate some.
You let meat sit way too long.
I forget it's in
There's
there.
nothing wrong with it.
No,
I'm
not at
giving him
all.
Shit for that. I'm just saying he's
Heck,
sitting
that was
on meat
delicious.
for way too long.
It
bet you it's
cooked a little
freezer
long.
cured.
By the time you got here, it had cooked too long.
Freezer cured a little.
No, not at all.
That was good.
Not freezer burnt, freezer cured, so it got tender. Because it's still decomp
I
slowly.
wouldn't know.
It wasn't tender by the time he ate it.
Oh, I mean,
It was when I ate it.
How was that leather neck roast?
That's a different story for a different time.
Game meat,
That was
especially here
stupid.
though, with it being so lean, so many people are weirded out by it. Eat it rare, medium rare at most.
It's only got to hit
so much
146
Yeah, 140
to be
is
safe.
No, 140 is
140.
internal temp for what I cook for when I do
mean-
my backstrap is 132.
Technically, as long as your meat hasn't been sitting out for days, you could eat that shit raw.
and be
especially
fine.
with game meat.
Just like beef.
As long as it's not bear.
As long as it's not a carnivore.
If you're eating a carnivore, cook that at minimum to 165.
Although
or
I
you will
have
get
heard,
trichinosis.
I have heard of deer eating other deer they have found that were dead.
People contracted in Alaska from a walrus
So-
trichinosis.
I believe that. Walruses are dirty and nasty creatures.
So are
Yeah.
fish. They fuck in their home.
So, then you take it down, take it home, right?
You can
it?
take it in the process. You can take it
I was
home.
going to
yeah.
say, you don't leave it out on public land.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You,
So
you obviously
Okay.
retrieve said animal.
I was going to say, like, what?
but then you're done.
But essentially, yeah. And then you
What do you do with the
cut it up,
carcass?
you quarter it up. So I just found this out. If you're on private land, it's your property. You can leave it lay out in your own
Oh,
woods.
shit.
You could bury it if you wanted to.
Okay.
But I just found this out. If you look up on your state's DNR website
or whatever
and-
your natural
or
resource.
whatever natural resources,
Right.
with like here in Wisconsin, if you go to the Wisconsin DNR's website and you type in, I just Googled Wisconsin deer carcass disposal,
Yep.
and it comes up with a map of Wisconsin, and it's got all the points across the whole state of where you can dispose of. And if you click on one near your area, if you click on it, it tells you the address, what it entails to get it. Like mine said, 24/7 drop off until dumpster is removed. No fee.
No, it's all free. Do you
It's-
know how those
you
are
just dump
functional
it.
though? This is super awesome. This is just shows how much the sportsman and hunting community is. Not all. Most of those dumpsters are actually paid for and sponsored, and someone is sitting and
Yeah.
managing it off of their own dime
Yeah.
to allow people to have that access and that ability. It's also to stop people from dumping carcasses on the side of
Mm-hmm.
the road. And in the state of Wisconsin, it does help reduce
So I
the
don't really
spread of
care if people
CWD.
know where I live. I just don't want them to know my house address. I live in Fort Atkinson. It's sponsored by the Fort Atkinson Hunters Club.
And they actually source and fund that.
Yeah.
Out of their own, the club's
And
pocket.
now I want to look them up
Fuck yeah.
and see if I can donate or join or help out or
Right.
whatever, because I didn't know that was a thing here. I've been here fucking 3 years and had no idea they were here.
Isn't it amazing? Just as
It's
you
super
dive
cool.
deeper into this stuff.
Well, okay, I had a question though. My fiance asked me this. What do they do with that dumpster? Because it doesn't go to a landfill
So
because
it
of
doesn't go to a
CWD.
landfill because of CWD. Some counties still let you dispose carcasses in
Yeah,
their
there are
trash.
some. There's a list
You
of
have
those.
to look at your municipalities and see. But what they're doing right now, they've actually found out that it might be the best way to destroy it is to compost it. The hot composting, the bacteria will deteriorate the proteins. But
So the bacteria itself that's in it will destroy the
bacteria
CWD proteins
that compost and
in the
creates
compost. Yeah. Okay, because didn't we listen to that thing?
the Wisconsin DNR, and there was one other one I forget. where, I
They
don't wanna
tried
source.
to heat it up to some ridiculous levels, and it didn't care.
So that was the human version, the Jacob's
Jacob
Crocus-
Crocuff, whatever the hell.
It's so hard to pronounce in general. The dude had it, and they had to do brain surgery on him, and they did 3 sterilizations at 4,000 degrees. I think
Yeah,
it was, and it's still
And it was
still prevalent.
Still there
But composting might be a way to actually break down the enzymes
because
and
of
proteins.
all the different bacterias and enzymes and
But
whatever's
as
in
of
that
right
pile.
now, my understanding is they're building essentially cement vault landfills
For deer carcasses?
for deer carcasses because, all right, so the CWD protein, obviously it's transmissible through snot, saliva, bodily
Yeah.
fluids.
So, okay.
You shouldn't even buy estrus right now if it's from a deer that hasn't been tested, because if a deer pisses in the dirt, they've actually checked now because they've just spent enough time. That protein is still prevalent because it leaches to the carbon in soil 10 years later.
Whoa.
So they're putting it in concrete vaults right now till they can figure out what the fuck to do.
Okay, so then could they... I'm just thinking, could they incinerate said deer and then just bury the ashes?
They was
Because if it's transmissible through bodily fluids, if there's no fluids left because they've been incinerated, can it still be
that might be something where
transmitted?
cost It might not be logical. Like, it just might be something where
it makes more sense to dig a giant hole and concrete the whole thing instead of starting a hot fire.
I don't know. I don't want to speak, especially because we are northern Minnesota, central Wisconsin, and I want to say Michigan. It might be one of the Dakotas are leading the cause on research for CWD.
Yeah, on research for CWD, but I haven't heard anything new in quite a while.
I would say I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, but I know that we are pushing for other ways, and what they've seen so far, as far as biologically speaking, if they can figure out a way to hotspot in those concrete vaults a way to compost and break it down with the hot compost, that is their best cost and natural way, because we're not increasing our carbon footprint.
Huh. Well,
ready for my next question?
So then if they used, I got another one, sorry. If they used, let's say you took your deer and they said, yep, go ahead and compost it, it's fine. Could that jump into your veggies?
No, it's veggies don't have the proteins that like that. It's kind of the whole interspecies thing like that. That it's just it's not prevalent where it would absorb the protein.
I'm asking him like he should know, knowing damn well he shouldn't actually know this answer, but
it's prevalent in the soil, but it's just kind of like sometimes with chemicals, you can have a chemically treated seed, or you can have. So if you have lead in your ground, and you grow a plant, that plant doesn't have lead in it, but the dirt from the rain and stuff like that, or let's say you have hazardous materials, the fruit from that plant isn't contaminated. But that's why they have you wash your produce, because all the contaminants could be on the
from
edge
the
of it,
splashing
inside of it,
from the rain. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit a while ago. Just us. So what you doing over there, Rob?
Yeah, I say you got another question?
Yeah, well, I was looking at Ohio DNR, for...
Oh, I'm planning on already.
He's already planning the trip.
So scent control. So,
ooh.
I know a lot of people do that differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys do that's different than everybody else?
Smoke cigarettes.
So, like, if you're gun hunting and you have a decent amount of shooting space, a couple 100 yards, as long as the wind's not blowing, even a lot of times, if the deer smell it,
go all the way back to what you do with your clothes, though.
Okay.
I leave them in a tote.
I try and isolate when I was doing up
Don't
north.
let the animals rub on you.
I used to put it in the horse shed. My grandparents had a horse farm, so it had the hay, the smell, so it just kind of smelled like things that were in there. It depends on the area you're at. If you're hunting public land, you can do the best you can, but the scent's already all over the place. They're actually more desensitized to it, probably.
Depending on where this public land is, you might be fine walking out in your fucking clothes.
So many people are
just your normal clothes.
So many people concerned about scent control on their persons, like when they're in the stand and shit. Realistically, if you're in an elevated position and the thermals are right, your scent should be way above that animal. Mm-hmm. And like even you can cover as much as you can. You cannot mask your scent completely.
No.
If it's dropping and going through, scent control is more about eliminating your presence as you get to your location so that you don't leave that scent trail. Stop rubbing on plants. Try and stay in just an isolated track.
Do you spray yourself at all?
Not anymore. Not on public. If I'm on personal, I will. I don't spray myself with a...
I'll spray my boots once in a while, but that's it.
I've had several times when I went in early when I was hunting on the public land that I used to be able to hunt on. I had a thing that was called garden salad, or salad dressing, sorry. Tink's salad dressing. And I would spray my boots with that. It wasn't a scent cover-up. It was actually like an attractant. It smelled a lot. I would do that, and basically instead of having to worry about covering up my scent and stuff, now I was leaving a tasteful smell,
something that they would want to follow.
That smelled like a fresh food plot almost. And I would put
did you ever use the stuff that smelled like fresh dirt? I fucking love that stuff.
Thermacell has some that does smell good, but
it smells like dirt, and I love it.
Legitimately, I've done that a few times with this spray, and walked to my stand and sat down. And within 20 minutes to a half hour, this is obviously I was getting there about an hour before I could shooting light. Almost every time I used it, within 20 minutes to a half hour, I would feel a deer hit my fucking ladder to my stand because they were following, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm right on top of the smell," or they get that close.
Yeah. I've never had any. Well, that's not true. Even like a lot of times, if a deer's curious and they don't feel like there's pressure in the area. Even if they don't feel threatened at all, they will follow your trail that you walked all the way right underneath your stand. Even if you didn't do any cover scent, they're just curious what it is.
When you're walking in, a lot of times if you have a headlight, you can turn around. There'll be a deer right behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Think of all the YouTube videos and stuff you've seen of people sitting there turkey hunting. They're still hunting. They're actively in the woods shooting, and then a deer comes up.
And it's like
just
sniffing
hey,
the gun barrel and...
Normally it's a younger deer, yes.
Yeah, they're usually dumb ones, but still.
What's going on here?
But I don't worry about it now. If I had my own plot of land, I would. I would be a lot more concerned about, and it wouldn't even be my presence currently that day. It would just be making sure, like, if I had trail cams up and stuff, that they weren't avoiding an area because of my scent so that I could.
Yeah. All I do now is I wear, minus the blind we were in, because that was pretty much sealed. But if I'm out in the woods, I wear a base layer, and that's it.
Yeah,
scent lock base layer, just something to try and keep my armpit smell from getting too.
But I will
obnoxious.
Anytime I kill a deer, as long as it's not dirty. And actually, Cody's seen this. I try and throw my clothes, my outer layer, on the animal, so I smell like a deer as best I can. But that's the extent of my.
I feel like
control.
As much as this scent lock thing and scent cover up thing is such a huge market.
I mean, there's all kinds of shit.
You can't cover your scent.
Right.
Unless you're in a plastic bubble, you're not going to cover your scent. It's still limiting.
It's marketing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it is because they know people will buy it. How long? Okay.
Speaking of marketing, you forgot to mention the tool.
Oh, yeah.
There's a butt.
What's it called? A butt plug?
It's called the butt out.
The butt out. It's an orange thing with a point on it and then some fins,
looks like a
and you
steak with
ram it in the deer's ass.
All right.
As far as you can get it.
This is getting kinky.
And you turn it one way a couple times, and then you turn it back the other way a couple more times, and you'll actually feel it
snap,
detach. And then once you feel that,
straight pull
straight out towards you.
Damn.
And it asshole.
One of the hardest parts of gutting a deer is trying to detach the
anus. Yeah, it is, because if you don't get a clean cut all the way up in
it's
far
so
enough,
rubbery and elastic,
it doesn't come out,
and you can't grip it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
And then you're squeezing it, and little turd droplets are coming out. And
I'll put it this way:
little pellets.
Natives have been hunting for a long time and did not go to the grocery store or supermarket to get special tools to kill animals.
That's true.
Yep.
That is very true.
They use dirt.
That being said, I do enjoy having a game call on me. They probably learned how to do it with their mouth, like I do.
I don't know. The whole cover up scent lock. If you're in an area that's under a lot of hunting pressure, it probably does help.
Yeah,
but if you go to an area that's not pressured by humans at all, I don't think you have to worry about it as much, because it's not something they're going to associate with danger.
See, I feel like that could go both ways.
I could see it going both ways, because they're not used to that smell. They're like, nope, fuck that. Or they could be like, I don't really know what that is. I'm just going to kind of stay in the area and just be cautious.
I've heard of people that make sure they eat apples before they go into the woods hunting.
I used to dip apple skull.
Yeah.
When I'd go hunting in the fall. It was sweet. I liked the taste, and I figured they don't mind.
Okay, it wasn't like you went out of your way to do it.
No, it was just something I did in the woods. But yeah, smoking in the woods, especially gun hunting. Gun hunting is it's not shooting fish in a barrel unless you have that big of a deer population where you hunt.
Sure.
But gun hunting, to me, is not hunting. It
depends on what type of hunter you are.
It's more of an opportunistic... I don't know how to describe it.
I feel like right now, I agree with what you're saying. Every deer I've killed, even with
it's more of a sport.
Yeah. A lot of people say bow is for bucks, gun is for meat.
Right.
Because they know that you can get a larger harvest.
It's a sporting thing when you gun hunt. And when you bow hunt, you're much more connected.
It's an actual hunt.
You're hunting. You're not just... bang bang.
Personally, I see a lot of times though, like gun hunting, and this is maybe why I'm a little more okay with using a crossbow. I see the season as hunting season, so I'm going to use the greatest means possible. But I'm also never, I can't say I never will, but I've never been in an opportunity where I put myself where a shot's more than 100 yards. I'm not doing those 400-yard while they're running, throwing lead down the field, and I'm gonna sling it out and see if I hit them. Like I'm gonna make sure that shot is there.
And that's why I say gun season is what it is.
Because unfortunately,
you
a lot
can
of people,
do that. You're not really hunting at that point. You're out having fun.
That's I hate. There's nothing. I love when I hear.
It's like going to the range.
You just hear that one. You're out in the distance. You hear that kapoosh.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing. You're like, they got a deer. Versus the kapoosh.
And then you hear like 2 or 3 different guns in the same area.
And then the next guy starts shooting. And like you can tell, you can like mentally imagine this animal running across this big ass field with people.
Semi-auto.
And at that point, I want to hear how far those gunshots travel out. Go deer, go deer, go.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. You don't feel as connected with what you're doing when you gun hunt.
No?
No. It's not as primal of a feeling. Like when you kill a deer with a fucking bow, it's like it takes you back
to
your caveman. You're just it's primal.
Do you feel cheated with the 2 deer we got?
A little.
Because we had a gun.
Teeny bit. No, because we didn't see jack shit.
Take the hunt for its isolation of us harvesting that animal in that moment, though. Being that it was as close as it was. I think I would...
Don't get me wrong. I was happy to harvest those animals. I enjoyed doing it. But if I would have taken it with my bow, I would have felt that much more grounded in the whole situation.
See, and this is... I thought about it afterwards. I reflected on the hunt a little more. Because I was thinking about this. And the more I thought about it, I feel more cheated about the blind and stand we were in.
It's fucking 80 degrees in there.
I think that was more cheating than the equipment used to harvest the animal. Because we didn't, it was easily harvestable with a bow. We would have got it with a bow.
What is the difference?
Guaranteed the same.
You sitting in a heated, out of the elements stand in one spot, not moving, versus sitting out in the elements, not moving, not seeing shit. The only difference is
that's the difference.
You're not getting rained on. You're not getting cold.
Maybe, but that might be maybe why my
you could say the same thing for them fucking Snuggie hunting blanket things they have now, and you're sitting in the tree and you like bundle up like a fucking caterpillar.
And that might be my justification why I don't feel bad about using a crossbow. I do have the nostalgia. I do have the want and desire to use a compound at some point.
Well, when I buy a new one, you can have mine.
With the ethics and everything, I know it's an effective kill. I know I'm already out there surviving the elements, and I don't want to spook the animal because where I'm at right now, I don't have that many opportunities.
Well, like I said, I get it. I would just prefer to see people use a bow if they have the capabilities of pulling one back. I'm not saying you have to.
I would rather see people.
I don't think less of you because of it.
I would rather see people walk out in the woods, foot stock up to this animal, or be out in the elements and just be. I think it's a more fair chase to be out and surviving the same. Like, if you want to go harvest a deer and it's 20 degrees out and you're freezing your ass off, I feel like you've earned that animal more.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
If you're out there doing that with whatever means of take it is, versus having a pre-built thing that you could sleep in overnight, wake up in the morning, and hope there's an animal outside.
We only did that so we didn't have to get up in the morning.
Well, I know what.
But we're also gun hunting, man. It wasn't, again, you're fucking gun hunting. You're not hunting.
But the thing is, every animal I've taken has been within 70 yards, but it's that I'm out there with the animals. I'm not giving myself... I'm giving myself the range advantage, but dude, we could have sat out there for a week and not even had to worry. We weren't cold. We weren't having to warm up. We were
also 100 yards from the house.
That's what I'm saying. I feel cheated by that.
We weren't
slightly.
in the woods.
The means of take, I didn't feel as cheated as I did. I was taking pictures and sending it to family of, how's your fucking hunt going?
Yeah, like I said.
I've never been in that situation.
I was happy to harvest the animal. I'm glad I got it. I'm glad it was a good shot and a good clean kill. But it wasn't as, I don't want to say meaningful because that's not the right word, but it wasn't as much of an impact.
You didn't value. Your value was...
No, I valued it.
You valued it different is what I'm saying. Is you saw it as
it's just a different
harvest
amount.
To fill the freezer.
Yes. It wasn't a connection to what I was doing type of thing.
That's another thing that...
I could have been sitting outside and it would have been the same way.
That's another thing. It's like I want land so that I know the animals I have. And it's not so that I can like create this... I want to be like, okay, the deer's there. Like, the one thing with gun hunting especially is if you know deer are in the area... Mm-hmm. You have an opportunity.
Yeah.
With bow hunting, and crossbow or not, in archery season, you have to go. You have to find the sign. You have to figure out where they're active.
You are fucking hunting
you are
when you bow hunt.
Hunting.
Legitimate.
And so there is that. So like when I do go to someone's house and they already have this pre-made thing, like I don't have to pick a spot. I don't have to find an area. It's just kind of more of. It's kind of like
you're there to shoot a deer to get meat.
When someone says, "Oh, come out here, sit here at 5 o'clock or whatever time," there will be deer that come through. Be ready. I might as well just go to the grocery store.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not because I still enjoy.
It's cheaper to shoot a deer
if you process it yourself. But that's what I'm saying is like
make some smokies.
It's almost kind of like that. Like you're shopping.
Yeah.
When people do the selective deer thing, I get it. But if you just have a stand and stuff pre-made and you're just sitting where someone's, and that's why I think as much as I hate the struggle of public land, it just gave me that kick in the nuts, that extra drive to be like, you're gonna figure this shit out.
If I knew for a fact where everybody else was on public land and I knew I wasn't gonna fuck somebody else's hunt up, I would be much more gung-ho about just walking out into the woods on public.
At that point, you just have to not give a fuck.
I just don't want to be that asshole that fucks everybody else's hunt up.
You've got those people, and if you come across them, when I ran in a group today, they came up afterwards, and
if you run into each other, that's different than a guy sitting there with like his kid.
At the same fucking...
And you walk by them, and they're like, what the fuck?
So it was gun season. I think it was the Monday after opener. It might have been the same night we got back into town.
I don't know.
I was sitting in the field, and I saw a large blaze orange figure come in. He's sitting in the high brush, and as soon as he comes to the clearing, I see a lot smaller, 3/4 the size, blaze orange again. And they spotted me, and I tried flagging them down. I felt really bad because I was essentially kind of hogging the area.
Fuck.
But when I showed up,
you got a fucking rifle that'll shoot
first
half
come,
a
first
mile.
Serve, right?
Yeah, but the thing was, I saw the dad and the youth. And I knew that it was a youth hunter, and I was trying to be like, no, you're good, because they probably run into that. And this dad's trying to show this kid, and like...
He's trying to pass on what him and his dad did.
And that's where, I think, especially with hunting, fishing...
Or her, whatever.
Fishing, a lot of times like, oh, we didn't catch nothing. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, yeah, dude, because there's so many fish and they move. With deer, they're isolated, that a lot of times when people
are
have
a lot more secretive.
They lock it down.
Yeah.
And it's like, on public land... especially smaller public land. Wisconsin is not like the West. We're not out there where we've got thousands of acres. Nope. It's a small area. You're not.
We still have quite a bit.
Yeah, but no area is secret. There's no hot spot.
Yeah.
That I think one of the things we should start putting into action is if you're parking at a trailhead and you're the first vehicle there, you should leave a little like X of where you're at.
Yes, I was thinking about that. I was actually thinking about making my own.
Areas.
My own little map, like aerial view of it, and like Post-its or like a little 3x5 card, and like driving by these places and like just kind of leaving one on somebody's window saying, hey, just let me know whereabouts you are, so if I decide to come hunt, I'm not gonna fuck you up.
Or modern age stuff. Like I seen it today, and I wish this
text
was
me a picture of this card with your mark on it. Like,
right, yeah.
I seen it today, and it made me like, if you don't want to do that and you don't want to give up your spot, I'm going to start doing this, I think. I'm going to start leaving a little placard on my back window that has my phone number on it, saying, hey, currently hunting, and say what species I'm hunting for. Because, in public land, you could be pheasant, you could be turkey,
squirrel.
You could be deer, you could be squirrel. There's a bunch of things. Leave your number, and then say text or call. I'll let you know where I'm at. Mm-hmm. Because I seen today, my stepdad and I were going to go hunting. We went to one side. We seen a vehicle. As the dude was, he was running back up because they forgot their blind. So he grabbed the blind and ran back out. So we went around Robin, other side of the river. I saw their blind.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have a blaze orange cap on it. Had I gotten their number, I would have let them know for future reference. I knew where they were. They need, in the state of Wisconsin, you need to have blaze orange on a blind.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to let them know that. Not to be a dick, just to be like, hey, like, I saw your blind and stuff, but that's a great hunting area.
It's a good
if
spot
someone
to get
didn't know you were
shot.
there because I seen it, someone could shoot at your area. You need to have this. Not to be a dick, but, like, so many people are so secretive. It's like, dude, we need to help each other out.
Yeah.
Or we're going to lose hunting.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That's my biggest fear, is that there's going to be so many segues and buys and stuff that we're going to lose hunting because everyone's shutting down. Instead of sharing some information. It's public land, dude, especially where we're at. There's not that much where it's going to be hush-hush secret. If you're like, oh, I just saw the biggest buck of my lifetime, yeah, maybe you keep that to yourself. But if, I just killed the biggest buck of my lifetime, go ahead, let people know where it's at, because it's probably not going to produce for another couple of years.
That was all the questions I had.
Sorry. I was trying to figure out how many people got shot during opening week.
I thought 4.
I think it was like 4 in Wisconsin.
That's pretty good.
But I just came across an article here. Sorry, we're going to wrap this up here soon. A deer hunter mistakenly killed 2 bull elk on Monday in northern Wisconsin.
I saw that.
2. The incidents occurred on private property in Rusk County during the state's 2019 9-day gun deer season, according to the agency. The hunter, an adult female, reported the shootings to law enforcement officials.
She self-reported, at least.
Oh, that's good.
The hunter's
Identification?
Wow. It says identify is being withheld pending consultation of charges.
So it's supposed to say identity?
I think so. But there's an advertisement, so I can't read what that says. The hunter failed to adhere to one of the cardinal rules of hunter safety, which is
target acquisition.
To be sure of your target.
She just saw something and fucking shot. She's like, something's moving.
That's why I won't
Pretty
hunt
much.
northern Wisconsin now. Unfortunately, that's what it is. I got grays once.
But there's a silver lining. Meat from the elk was salvaged and will be donated to a food pantry.
That's what happened last year, too, at least.
The hunter is likely to get a citation as well as be made to pay restitution for the animals.
That's what'll happen.
Shaler said restitution is about $2,000 for elk in Wisconsin.
Shit.
Well, that's shitty.
Yeah. Well, but that'll happen.
Yeah. Especially since elk were just like reintroduced not too long ago here.
Very, very recent.
And they're just now starting to
repopulate.
Yeah. 4 people suffer non-fatal shooting injuries during deer hunt opening weekend.
Stupid.
Non-fatal. And they say we have a problem with guns in this fucking country.
Oh, jeez.
Hunters killed 90,000 deer and 4 people were shot that entire time.
The whole time?
The whole time. We don't have a gun problem. We have a people problem. But that'll be on our episode of Triggered.
Yeah, buddy.
Because that's going to trigger a whole lot of people. Although, not a whole lot, because we don't have a whole lot of people listening yet.
That's true. But when they start listening and they come back to this, then they're going to be like...
Yeah. So hopefully our rambling wasn't too crazy.
Well,
I mean, we're an hour and 36 minutes into this.
Fuck it.
I didn't think it was that long, but you get talking, you get drinking. It happens.
Yeah.
So when are we getting together doing the next one?
Shortly. Not too long.
Shortly?
I gotta look at my schedule.
And are we talking about Triggered? I don't think we're going to do an after show for this one.
We should probably do Triggered. I think it would be a good one.
Should we do Triggered?
A lot of people not happy.
What triggers you, Dustin?
Vegans.
What triggers you, Rob?
I already know what triggers you. It's fucking flat earthers.
I mean, that's one of them.
I don't know. What is like... I think when people start trying to justify vegans, that's my trigger.
No, it's people that try to think they're better than everybody else because they don't eat meat.
Right.
No, you're just weaker than everybody else.
Yeah, I don't care if you eat meat or not.
Right? I don't give a flying fuck. What triggers you, Rob?
Fucking war activists.
I can see that.
Yeah,
this isn't a triggered episode.
You ain't
I know.
been there, if you haven't been there, don't fucking say shit
Right.
because you don't know.
You have no idea.
I was saying, I got nothing to say on that.
Because
society itself.
Because yes, we're there for the wrong reasons, but that's not
a lot of the time. That's how it turns out.
It's not their fucking fault.
Right? They're just
doing the job.
They're literally there because they have to be.
Here's my other.
And if they're not, they're AWOL.
I don't want to say it on this episode. I'll wait till the after show.
We're not gonna do an after show.
Okay.
Not for this one. This one's an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
Hour and 40 minutes now.
I was saying, what did I miss with the? I had to piss.
Nothing.
Okay.
We should recap.
Did nothing. You didn't miss nothing. We're just kind of recapping. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this one up.
You know, I will say this wasn't like legit. Like the last one was kind of like the rest of us argued. This was kind of a nice roundtable conversation.
Discussion.
I like it.
Once again, Rob kind of sat on the sidelines.
Yeah,
I talked.
I would say he gave.
I don't know much about hunting.
You talked, but it was me and Dustin. Subject.
So
Rob,
I don't know anything about the issue.
Random
Rob,
question.
I want you to do me a favor.
It's fine.
Is
you need to come out with me more.
go at least small game hunting or get a late season. There's the holiday hunt. Try and get the license if money's there. And I know that the DNR has some things that you can actually get a mentored hunt. And I was just listening to it recently, and we'll look into that. Where they'll actually give you the guidance.
Free guided hunts if I want to.
I don't want. I want you to learn the hows and stuff.
Well, he's got to get into it first.
Yeah.
You can't just plunge somebody into something like that.
Well, I mean,
no, but these mentored hunts are a lot of time for like onset hunters.
Wrong caliber.
In their 30s.
Non-sighted.
Yeah.
You know, we spent this whole time. This should be called deer hunting because we
I was
didn't even
gonna
talk about all the. Like, I'll have to come back for other game. Hunting.
We should get really into hunting and outdoorsness because I love the outdoors.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
See,
gonna be tanning a hide here soon.
You know, like camping, survival shit. I can go with that. Hunting, I don't know a lot about hunting.
We need to do more of that.
Cody's
we need to plan a trip. What am I doing?
I would say you're gonna tan that hide.
I'm tanning the hide.
Dude,
I'm
if
fucking
you're interested
doing
in something, just fucking do it.
Do it!
Just fucking do it.
I can't.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, I can't mimic his voice.
I don't want. I'll spike it. I'll spike it.
Well, that's why I backed way up here.
Just do it.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, you didn't spike it too bad. But, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Hopefully you enjoyed this hour and
This is just a
35 minutes
I think this is
general discussion. We didn't get too deep into
round
nothing.
table, good,
which is fine.
Discussion.
And this is about how long the last half of the first episode would have went if we would have kept going. No, we can do this. We can do these episodes, man. We might need to start a second channel because if we're going to talk about that stuff, it cannot be mixed in with this.
It's a different podcast.
It's
I probably wouldn't have to be here for it.
I feel bad. Like I feel like when you guys invite me,
you got more time than I
podcast.
do. Why don't you fucking produce these?
I don't have that much time.
Oh, that's right, because you don't have all the equipment.
No, he's got equipment.
Speaking of,
I do have that. Yeah.
we need to renew our membership soon.
Oh fuck! For which one?
For this.
Rob
post.
doesn't have
much
time.
is
This
that?
is his getaway.
It's like
Instead of
$100.
enjoying his own time, he plays.
All
with
right.
Cody.
Shit.
We're going to end this episode here. Dustin,
Hey, thanks for listening, guys.
appreciate you coming.
Hit up Bottom of the Glass at.
The email we don't use because no one else uses it.
Facebook, Instagram.
I'm trying.
Facebook and Instagram is what we use the most.
Correct.
So look us up on that. Bottom of the Glass, both. You can look us up on Twitter. You ain't going to find nothing.
Yeah, you'll be.
We don't use it. You can find us on YouTube. We are still posting on there. It's just the audio though. So
For now.
if you want to send us an email,
You should do other clips and stuff, just like little heads up and updates. Like if you would have promoted your holiday or your Halloween one, I think that would have been pretty cool. Like lead up.
I know, probably
Yeah.
should have.
Well, as you get there, like you need to establish.
The Halloween one was dope.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the-
Fuck yeah, dude,
yeah.
good job. I wish the whole episode would have been like the intro. It was
Yeah, we
really
talked
good.
well, fuck, dude. We started that.
Yeah.
It was like a half hour long.
No, we started something else.
We started something completely different, and we went for like 20 minutes, half hour.
Yeah.
I
we're
had-
like,
All right,
Plenty of
we're gonna end this episode here. Pick us up on the after show. We'll catch you in the next one.
all right, guys. Peace.